Hello and welcome. My name is Dennis from AG, and usually at this stage I would be greeting my viewers with hello dear crypto friends, but it's not going to be in this video, guys, because in this video we're going to be looking at the big picture with gold, because this is how I personally started to trade back in 2012, but we're going to be looking at the bigger time frame picture, basically starting off in 2001 up to the 10xing until 2011 up to $1,900, and then breaking the crucial support where I personally lost all of my money almost at 1,550. So it's gonna be a rather emotional video, and we're basically going to finish it off with looking at the current important resistance at the 1,350 range, where basically gold is building a golden coffee, and once we break this we could be seeing huge follow-through. So I'm very excited, very emotional for me. Stay tuned. So welcome back, dear friends, and as we can see, this is the monthly chart for gold US dollars, going here from the important 2001 range, basically almost the $200, it's basically $250 range, up to almost $2,000 here. Okay, so we had the wicks around 1,920 here, so we have seen a 10x move. This was even before I came to this market, and as you can also wonderfully see, the financial crisis here in 2008 happening, and then basically even from here, or exactly because of that reason, still seeing this huge rally ongoing into 2011 year. And yeah, this is when it then basically started to correct. If we zoom into that correction, we had this on the daily chart, as you can see. We had this nice tightening triangle going on, and this is exactly when I jumped in. So at this time, I was, I had already started to study in Munich as an economics student, and I was hanging around, with many libertarian friends and also study colleagues, who were from the libertarian space, and those were actually also the same people who then later on invested in Bitcoin, but to that we're gonna come later. So this is exactly, guys, when I saw this market, I had no clue, okay, zero idea about any technicals, about anything. I just saw this was actually the first pattern that I saw. I never forget this. And where I thought, okay, that's really nice, it makes sense, this tightening. And as you can see, we have seen a huge breakout out of this. So at first, everything was going well. So everything was perfect. Huge breakout out of this. And so the blue lines are basically, the range here, as you can see here in the bigger picture. And yeah, so this was basically the breakout, okay? This was the breakout here happening. This is now on the weekly chart, okay? Now we have switched over from the daily to the weekly. And so we can see the parabolic move up to 1,920 here. We can see the huge correction, always with the wicks coming in around the 1,550 range, which is the psychological range here, okay? As you can see, one time, second time, this huge consolidation here again. And this was also time where most of the gold bugs were saying, okay, this is it now. Now from this huge consolidation, it's gonna go up. And yeah, I was basically in the, at the stage of the hodlers. So I was at the hodler stage, but the problem was I hadn't bought it physically. So I didn't buy gold in physical form. For example, had I bought it in physical form, even after the correction, it would have been okay, you would still have something in gold value. The problem was I was, of course, was gonna get the most out of it. So, and that was only possible through CFD trading, okay? So I had to go all in, obviously, to make, a huge amount of money, and that's why traded here with CFDs, and that was the big issue. So as you can see, it makes halt perfectly at the 1800 psychological here. So this is the nice range we had been actually in this equilibrium, okay, in this zone and in this zone. I mean, have a look at the important support here, how many times it's upholding. Have a look at the highs, and from then basically my abyss, my fall into the abyss started. This is exactly when it started here, when it basically couldn't break the important 1800. And so it was not just gold, also, so not just XAU here, but also XAG, which stands for silver. I was also trading silver, and as you can see, we have been in a very, very steady downtrend once we could break above here, with the higher lows here first of all, but then lower highs, and then lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, exactly holding up the same region, okay, the 1500, before we basically broke this important support zone to the downside. Now, as you can see from this important break, okay, so this is exactly the stage where I basically, crush my account fully, okay, so I totally, got smashed here up until I sold the rest. So this was the wake-up call, okay, the break of this was the wake-up call. Very, very similar, by the way, to Bitcoin's November 2018 break of the 6K. So also in BTC's case, obviously huge run-up, so not even comparable, So from this huge run-up, just only a, like the break of this bottom. But yeah, if you are in CFDs, if you are, with margin trading, it breaks your neck. So it broke my neck here up until I got out here. But the most important part, that's why I'm showing to you, it's like basically like what happened, not that much. So from here, we basically saw a nice correction. As you can see, so we have like two important S&R zones. So S&R zones are very, very important in trading. They stand for support and resistance, okay? Traders will do everything differently, trend lines and so forth, but horizontal, as you can see, horizontal support and resistance is nothing to argue with, okay? So even, the last trader will be seeing those zones. So everyone will be looking at that and everyone will recognize them. And this is why it's also going to be important now. So if we look at it from that perspective, we can see, okay, we have always been, trying to come back to this 1350 to 80 region here, as you can see, even on the way going down, okay? So breaking lower, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs in this region, lower lows, lower highs yet again, lower lows. Have a look at this. So $1,000 psychological, a little bit above, 1060 around, was then the region where the bulls basically didn't let gold go lower, okay? So they uphold the important 1000 psychological here, making a beautiful morning star reversal pattern, as you can see with the red candle, the doji here, and then the bull break, okay? So in my case, the colors are always specified, but it would be a usual green candle here, as you can see, turning around. So this has been important, and the 1200, okay? 1200 has upheld here, has upheld on the first time, second time here, in this region, a little bit consolidation here, there we go, rejection, going above, and now, very, very importantly, also currently upholding. So if we dive into the current price action, we can see that the resistance, is getting tested quite a few times, especially at the end. And if we zoom in here, this is exactly what we can see. We can see this beautiful golden coffee having shaped up, especially, like since the end of, as you can see, since the summer of 2017, basically going on here, coming to this region, rejecting a few times, a beautiful equilibrium going on in the zone, not managing to break above. So an equilibrium is a rectangle, basically shape of consolidation, and beautiful bear break, by the way, like awesome bear break, which you could also have played here in this case. But have a look at this now, and this is why I love trading. I've come to love it, So making this huge and beautiful U-turn, this beautiful cup, and now we are getting the handle in the last couple of weeks here, basically the last 2 weeks, coming yet again at this crucial resistance in the 1350 range. Now, if we disregard the cup here, if we just look at, the right side of the cup here, and, just zoom in here, we will be seeing, as you can see. So now we have changed over to the daily chart. We will be seeing this beautiful bull flag ongoing. You can measure it up if you want. It's not even coming underneath the 50% retracement mark of the Fibonacci move. So basically it's a perfect bull flag, okay? We can see the perfect, have a look at this, the perfect consolidation, the micro downtrend inside this bull flag going on with the highs, higher highs basically here, okay? Coming to the lows, so making lower lows, lower highs, higher lows, lower highs, breaking to lower lows, lower highs here a little bit, okay? Same lows, basically breaking to higher highs here already, but compared to those highs, it was still a lower high, as you can see, okay? High, lower high, lower high, lower high, and now finally, guys, getting the break above just in one push, and this is now where we are at, so we should right back, okay, this week up to the important resistance at the 1300 and, as you can see, 40 up to 50 range. And so what does it mean? As you can see on the daily, we should completely, like since the break of that, we should completely up. It would be very, very unlikely to just push in, like push through in just one push basically. It would be much, much more healthier or like much, much more probable if we would basically correct here, build a higher low, okay? Build like a nice higher low, we could even tighten further here, and then get the break above the zone in order to cool the RSI. So many traders are going to be looking at this. They're not going to just be jumping in under those conditions. It would be very, very, like the probability is very high that we will see a consolidation here first. But once we see that consolidation here going on, and obviously, so this is very important, okay? Even though the probability is high on the bullish side, anytime, guys, we can still, as you can see, I mean, it has taken over, like, I mean, have a look at those years, I mean, you can basically go up back to 2013. We can still be rejecting from the zone. We have rejected every single time, so never forget this. We can still reject here. We could even break the zone and fake out, okay? This would be called a fake out because it is a breakout without follow through. And this is what the institutional money especially is using as liquidity, okay? The institutional money, the bigger pockets, they always love to, use those fake outs. They always fill the pockets and then it comes crashing down. So they are filling the orders, all the bulls who are going long here, and then they would be crushing it down. That's also an option, okay? Could happen, but that's what we are looking at currently. So should we get the definitive break, okay? Should we get the break with the follow through, we would, for the first time since my painful days, we would have the chance to break the 1300, 50 to 70 range. As you can see, with the VIX, it goes up to 80. For the first time, we would have the chance to break this again. And then in this case of scenario, we would be having the chance to come to the important bottom previous, so it would be turned into an S&R zone. So previously it was support, now it would be turned into resistance, okay? On the way up now, there would be a very, very high chance that the bears would be reacting here, even though we might have the chance to go to the all-time highs, So we would definitely see a reaction here first, maybe like a consolidation, a retest, for example, coming down, retesting this zone yet again, and then going up. But obviously, this is like already 3, 4, 5 steps ahead now. So first of all, we have still the resistance ongoing, but I'm just showing you what would be happening in a follow-through case. So those would be the resistances to be watching out for. So, like, how probable is that scenario? Like, if we want to understand it, as we have seen at the beginning, if we want to like measure up, the big move again, going back to the monthly chart from 2001, basically up to today, as we can see, we are like in a steady, very, very nice up move. So it's a beautiful, like bull flaggy, shape currently going on. And especially if we can now break this through, and this is what I have made with the golden one. Can you see this? Like, we have the neckline here, okay? The clear neckline, guys, coming in at the 1350 range, as we have just seen several times. And once we get the break above, we could be reaching all-time highs, basically making this a beautiful cup here, making it a beautiful cup. And then from here, the bulls could basically break out like higher above the 1800 range. But just like what I'm trying to show you here, just from a measuring point, like from a health point, it's completely healthy still. if we measure up from $200, as you can see, from the 250 up to the important, 1920 here, we haven't even retraced underneath the 50% range. So even if Fibonacci doesn't tell you anything, okay, you can just take your normal human logic and just understand. I mean, Fibonacci is nothing else than percentages, okay? If we haven't even retraced, like from this huge bull move up, even gone underneath 50% of that bull move, obviously we're still in a bull market. So definitely still in a bull market, and it could see some awesome breakout and follow through. So now we are coming to a very, very important point, and those are the conditions under which gold, has the best cards, has the best chances to rise. And this is always gonna be like, and that's why it's called a safe haven. It's also gonna be always gonna be in times of uncertainty, because it acts as a safe haven. So that means, if you want to translate it into the market, it means that we would have to see a weak dollar, okay, a weak dollar happening, and at the same time the market also, like the general market, going down. Those are the best conditions. And if we look at it this way, I have just opened here, the dollar index, as you can see, on the weekly chart, and we have a nice, wedgie pattern going on here with a divergence happening. So we already saw a bear break of the zone. If this follows through, we could be going to 95 in this region, which would make the argument stronger that gold, could be breaking the crucial resistance. The other part is the crucial, like the usual S&P 500, the market, what the market is doing. And we can here perfectly see, okay, I mean, we had this huge correction, as you remember, towards the end of last year, basically like turning into 2019, huge rally, okay, huge rally up to the all-time highs. On the way up, as you can see, we have important higher lows coming in here, okay, and from those higher lows now, we have just like this week, this is the weekly chart now, this week we have we are trying to build yet again on the same range, like trying to hold the same support zone. And should we be able to hold this, of course the bulls would have the chance to come to test the all-time highs yet again. So in that case of scenario, this would not be like the ideal scenario for gold, but it would be a perfect case scenario. So the US dollar going down, the usual market going up, this would be a perfect case scenario for the gold miners, and especially for the ETFs like GDX. As you can see, I have now GDX open here. Very, very nice tightening equilibrium range. We're breaking down lower, okay, now building again a very, very beautiful cup and handle here. And yeah, I mean, we are at the resistance at the 23 psychological. A break above could definitely, go up to the 25 region here, or even to the previous highs, to the previous resistance here, which would be coming in above the 30 range. So in that case of scenario, this would be seeing a huge bull move up. I mean, as you can see, it will be 10% here already, even up to 35% going to the previous highs. So all in all, as a conclusion, if we now want to come back to my story, as a gold hodler first, and then basically putting the rest of the money into Bitcoin, that was back in 2013 when BTC had corrected from $100 to $50. And yeah, I mean, I hadn't much left, but what I had left, I had put into Bitcoin. And I just want to show you this. So from my investment back up here, up to the 20,000, we have seen a 400x move, okay? So I'm just showing this to you of what has happened with BTC, okay, during the same time. I mean, we have seen everything to gold. It's still healthy, no problem at all, nothing happened. But like the whole move, okay, that gold has upseen, like obviously, if you haven't been around in 2001, I mean, I was just 11 years old. I hardly could have invested there. But in this case, like we can, like, it's without a question, okay? Like there is no, it's not debatable at all that crypto, and especially Grandpa Bitcoin, has completely overshadowed gold, okay? Like from a monetary point of view, okay, like just from monetary value compared to the US dollar, but also, and this is the most important part now, it is now being debated as the safe haven, okay? Like in compared like to the to the governments, like having your money secure in times of fear, when the market is going down. So this is actually currently the hottest debate which is ongoing in the libertarian circles, who themselves have been the gold bugs before, and also now like who have been investing in in crypto at the very beginning. And I mean, I could now tell you my opinion about it, like what I think about this, but I think the best thing we can do is to look at the general opinion, and I have a very, very good source here that I want to show you. There was a survey made by Ron Paul, who was the Republican presidential candidate for the 2008 elections, and he's a staunch libertarian, a very, very big supporter of gold, and a very, very staunch critic of the US dollar and of the Federal Reserve Bank. So so you can be like 100% sure that his supporters, are all coming from the libertarian space, from the, the gold bugs, all the gold bugs are there. And yeah, so he made this beautiful, okay, which was awesome, this beautiful tweet here, as you can see, the survey. A wealthy person gifts you $10,000. You get to choose in which form you'll accept the gift. But there is a catch. You must keep the gift in the form that you choose for 10 years without touching it. In which form would you accept the gift? And then the first option, as we can see, he has here Federal Reserve notes, okay? The second is gold. The third is Bitcoin. And the fourth option is US 10-year treasury bonds. So either you're going to basically be holding it in US dollars, you're going to be holding it, as you can see, in gold, Bitcoin, or like treasury bonds. But this was literally amazing. As you can see, almost 95,000 people voted here, okay? 95,000 people. That's pretty representative, especially of the libertarian, of the gold space. And from those people, okay, from those gold bugs, 50% of the people went with BTC, 50% Bitcoin, which is huge, okay, which is literally very, very huge. So without, I could like go on counting my opinion here without coming back to that. Very, very nice presentation here of what the market is thinking, and this could actually, be already showing us what the market will in future see as a safe haven. So it could be Grandpa Bitcoin. So conclusion, guys, finishing this video off. I have, accepted this. I mean, it is very obvious. That's the beauty of technical analysis. If you can read the charts, that's the power, that is the power of the charts. This is basically why I'm also like, the huge motivation for me, basically, to start the crypto chart channel last year, and now building the, important company with Edgy, to help people develop, the understanding of how the chart anatomy works. It was clear, so it was a clear range we had been in with gold. The break was clear, and the same is also true right now, okay? The same is true right now. If we get a break above this, we could be seeing very, very nice follow through. And so, like, everything is there if you can read the charts, everything is there if you can, understand what is going on. You don't have to depend on other people. And yeah, I mean, it's one, one crying eye, but one laughing eye, because that's how life plays. So, of course, like, had I put, the majority, like the vast majority of that money in Bitcoin back then, I would right now probably be, giving talks on stage together with Roger Ver, but unfortunately, this is reality, so reality is not always gonna be like the optimal case, but it is very important to learn from your mistakes, so understand what you have been doing wrong, learn from your mistakes. Have a look at this. BTC hugely correcting, lower highs, same bottom at the 6K, breaking through, okay, now shooting right back up. So completely possible also with gold, coming back to the range. And yeah, we are gonna be seeing if the gold bulls managed to break this above and basically see some follow through to the all-time highs. So that's it from today, guys. I hope you had some value. If it was so, smash the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my technical analysis updates. And I'm very, very curious in this case, like if you have been, a gold trader before, have you also been eyeing Bitcoin, or like the reverse, if you have been a crypto trader up until today, have you also been interested in gold? Definitely leave me your comments. Like, let me know if you think if gold or BTC is basically going to prevail as a safe haven. And other than that, as you have seen in the video, the most important thing, okay, so the biggest issue for me, like where I had lost the money, was the lacking knowledge. So I didn't know what I was doing. But even like once you have understood, like a little bit, already how patterns work, or like how the trend might be working, you might still not be profitable, okay? So in this case, I am now offering my huge, like flagship mentorship, where I, have basically summed up all of my mistakes and all of my knowledge into this huge program where I'm offering this to you. And like it has like everything, like the complete walkthrough of the technical analysis course. Like how do you have to recognize the trends, like how do you have to play profitable, okay, which is the most important part. So what is this trading strategy that you're playing? Is your trading strategy working? Do you have a positive expectancy, for example, after 100 trades? Okay, so if you are still making mistakes there, if you still don't have a clear trading plan set, I'm even gonna be offering this independent of the mentorship. Basically, just setting up the trading metrics. So definitely check out the links in my description. And yeah, other than that, like I said, wish that you had some great value here. And I say adios, amigos, wherever you are on this planet. Let's hope that both of those markets, see some green days. And yeah, we will see each other in the next gold analysis. Not sure when this is gonna be, but definitely Bitcoin analysis very soon. Adios, amigos, and see you.